Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Beyond a Thought podcast where we're talking about issues you're probably thinking about. My name is Lynette.
And my name is Z.
Welcome to another episode. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for coming back and watching and listening. So this week, we are wrapping up the year with our final episode of the year. So we'll be talking about, we have a full-on topic that we want to be talking about, but before that, we want to just like wrap up the year, have our final thoughts, and then like get into our discussion about friendships, which should be a good conversation. I hope so. I hope so. Fingers crossed. We can never promise anything over here. So before that, Z wants to have a little moment. A little moment.
She wants a moment. I'm going to sing a song, okay? Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Merry Christmas!
Feliz Navidad!
Feliz Navidad! Joyeux Noël!
Joyeux Noël! Merry Christmas!
Yes, by the time you guys hear this episode, it will be Christmas, or probably Christmas would have passed.
Yeah,
but
or like, around the holiday time.
Exactly. So we want to wish you beyond the thoughters.
That should be a thing. Beyond the thoughters.
A Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
thanks for sticking around.
Yes.
Your encouragement and for your feedback.
Your feedback, your listening in. We don't take it for granted that, you would take time out of your day to listen to two women talk about life. And explore thoughts and go beyond the thought, essentially.
Yeah.
So, good up to you guys. Big up to you guys, rather. So, girl, we are in tune.
We are in tune.
How was your 2023?
Wow.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's try to wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's been a year of transitions, I would say, right? So, a year of a lot of changes, a lot of things moving from one thing to the other. I had a full-on 18-month maternity leave.
Yeah.
So this time around, it didn't take 12 months.
Yeah.
It took 18 months so that I can at least adjust going back to work, putting the girls in school, daycare, all the things. So there's been a lot of transitions in that. Went back to therapy.
Well done.
Here I am, pouring out my heart to this.
But also healing your heart.
Healing my heart,
yes.
right? So it took me a while to kind of get back to actually think about going, and then making that jump to actually finding a therapist, because it takes time. But I like my therapist. It's going well.
That's good.
So yeah, just like actually like taking time to think deeply about things that I maybe wouldn't have thought of in that way before, right? So just honing in on my thoughts and actually sitting with them before I just kind of like do anything that goes.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting year. It's been a year of like shifting for me personally. It's been a year of growth in a lot of ways, like in a lot of areas. Friendship, family. It's been good.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I'm happy for you. I feel like your year was full. Like I feel like I've described your year as full.
Yeah.
Which was good.
It was good. Yeah. It was very full. Like I mean, it was. It wasn't. Elsie was born in 2022, but like maternity leave was really great for me. And then just seeing Ellie Grace grow as well, both of them actually just grow, and just participating in their life has been really, really great.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
How about you?
My year was also full. I coined this year the year of family because Quigu's family came, all of his family, well, immediate family, really not uncles and aunties, no, but just parents, sisters, brothers, nephews, nieces came, and it was just a really good time together. And then his parents stayed a little bit longer, and it was good to, just learn from them, like glean wisdom, you know. I think that's one thing I didn't take for I took for granted growing up, was like having elders around and just learning from them. I was always like, you people don't know anything. I think now I'm like, okay, they actually know a lot more than I thought, right? I'm taking advantage of really learning from them and hearing stories. It's been really good. And then by the time this episode comes out, I would be in Kenya with my family. With my whole family, and meeting how many nephews and nieces do I have now that I've never met? One,
never
two,
met,
3, 4, and then 4 nephews and nieces and 2 grandnieces that I've never met. So
it's gonna be a great time for your kids too.
Oh my gosh, they're so excited! They just can't wait. Like, and even the kids, they've even said that 2023 has been the year of family for them, because they met their cousins that they never met. Meeting their cousins again that they've never met, and their uncles and aunties. So I just love that. I'm so excited for that, because I think for me, like, I realized that the fact that we being Quigu and I are so far away from family, like we miss them, like legitimately miss them, so we want to make it a habit of seeing our family as often as we can, so that's definitely become a priority for us when it comes to our finances, is making that space to go and travel and visit family. So the kids can, especially going back to Africa, and I quote unquote, because it's wherever family is, that's where we're going, whether it's Ghana, whether it's Kenya, Congo, wherever it is. So that's been my 2023. Family. I've gotten my mental health in check, thank God. I'm really, that was definitely a struggle, 2022 going into 2023. But I'm really happy that I'm at a place where I was telling Quigu, I'm like, I have tools, you know what I mean? Like, I can't say that, like, oh, the anxiety is gone or the depression is gone. Like, it's gone, but, like, I just know that
just knowing how to manage
exactly. Like, especially with my anxiety, like, I recognize that, like, this is, and it's hard to say this as a Christian, because we pray, like, God, take it away, in Jesus' name we have faith and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like I went to a place where, like, I might just be living with this, like, this just might be the thorn in my flesh, and if that's the case, then God has already told me that His grace is sufficient.
Oh, absolutely.
And in that, given me tools on how to manage. So, one day at a time, one day at a time. But we're loving it. We're laughing through it. Sometimes I catch myself, I'm like, this little anxiety, you're messing with me. Get me behind me. Satan! Literally! Get me behind me. This is not happening today.
No, I hear you.
So that's been it. But it's been great. I'm really happy. 2024 is coming, and
looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. I already told Tony, 2024, I'm cutting out sugar.
No sugar.
You guys, you will not see me with this Starbucks anymore.
You people are witnesses.
The world. Witness.
The world is the witness.
In fact, wait. This drink is so good,
actually. Hey!
You only see me drink this once a month. I can't cut it out completely. Come on. Life is short. We have to drink the good things in life. In fact, let me just...
It's funny because I saw this video of this guy who's a vegan or vegetarian or whatever. And no knocking to vegetarians or vegans, like, love you guys, but do you? It's great. But he's like 90 something, and like on his deathbed, and somebody asked him what was the benefit. He's like, it wasn't worth it.
The sugar.
The veganism.
Oh gosh,
I've just eaten.
He should have just eaten the cow.
I am 90 something, and here I am.
It wasn't worth it.
Just salad.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
He said it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
Oh.
So you know what?
Please send me this video. Let me have it in my...
Maybe once a month.
No, but like, seriously, like, people have all, I'm going to cut out sugar, I'm going to cut out, I'm like, yeah, but it makes me happy. So, I know it's not super healthy, but let me at least just have one happiness.
Let's
per
just
month.
pin it for a resolution. Let's just maybe define the resolution a little refined
Yeah,
resolution.
a little bit. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
But yes, no, 2023 has been great,
Mhm.
and you know, we thank God for it.
Mhm.
Thank God for bringing us this far. There's been a lot of movement from
Mhm.
the post-pandemic to like
Yeah,
where we are
to
now. So
yeah, fair.
yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah,
Let's get into our.
let's get into it. So
Friendship.
friendships. We are talking about friendships.
Let's just take a deep breath. Whew.
So
Lynette, what about friendship?
what about
You
friendships?
tell me. You
So-
tell us why do you want to talk about friendships?
You know
today?
what? Like, I think going. I think in line with 2023 and
Mhm.
like having like doing a lot of transitions in
Mhm.
my life.
Mhm.
I think I've come to the point where I'm doing a lot of introspective, like, you know, activities
Mhm.
to kind of think about myself and think about maybe the, you know, even just the friendships that I have, right?
Mhm.
Because I feel like when we are in high school or elementary school or whatever, like friends are just friends. Like you just
Mhm.
have friends,
Mhm.
right? And everybody's your friend, and you go to school and you're all in this group and you're all friends and whatever. And you go through a chunk of people that are your friends, right?
Right.
Nobody really actually. I haven't seen many people that age actually sit down and be like, let me analyze my friendships.
No.
This person in school, like, I mean,
Yeah.
my child is, Grace is 4 years. Like, everybody's her friend. Like,
Yeah.
she comes home, it's like, this is my friend. This one wasn't here. This one's been here. It's like, you know, but she has a core group of friends that
Mhm.
she likes. So they're just her friends.
Yeah.
Right? And nobody actually, they don't actually sit down and like, oh, Grace, no, I'm going to analyze, you know, this
Yeah.
friendship of mine.
Mhm.
But I think I've gotten to a point in my life where dynamics of my life have changed,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I've gotten married, I've had kids, and I just the level of friendship dynamic that I had prior to, I guess, all of that
Mhm.
has changed,
Right.
right? So not that it wasn't changing when I was single, but it just I just didn't think about it
Mhm.
in that way, right?
Mhm.
So now I'm like, as the dynamic of my life is changing, like it's come to the fore, not by choice or anything like that. It's just come to the forefront of my mind to think about my friendships, in a very real way,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I think it came to the point where I was like, like we had this discussion about the classifications of friendships, because I found myself a lot doing putting all my friends, whoever they, no matter who they were,
Mhm.
on the same playing field,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's just like a straight line, and not thinking, oh, but this individual might not be like my core, because
Mhm.
like, you know, there's this analogy of like this is like, it's like an onion, like at the very center is your tight people, and then outside that, and it just kind of grows in your close acquaintances, and then just people that you see.
Mhm.
So I've never actually had, I think this is the first year that I've actually sat down with myself and like actually thought about those things, right?
Mhm.
Whereas I didn't think about them before.
Mhm.
So not I felt like a lot of my friendships were just on the same playing field, and I was doing a lot of like pouring into every relationship in the same way.
In the same way. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think I didn't realize that I was doing that
Mhm.
until like certain circumstances of friendships kind of like made me think about it.
Yeah. And the way you were pouring into these friendships, do you find that they were also reciprocated? Like, do you find that the same, like those relationships, it was also reciprocated?
Not
No.
necessarily.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily.
Mhm.
I think I thought about it of like, I am gonna do what I do.
Right.
However people, like friends, take that, or
Mhm.
however they receive that, or like, you know, reciprocate it in the way that they do.
Mhm.
I didn't really think about those. I didn't
Mhm.
really think about that, and really very much analyze it in that way. It was more like me. I'm just going to do the same things that I do for each friend, just so that it's like equal or whatever. And that takes a lot out of you as an individual. Like it takes a lot. Like it takes a lot of bandwidth to kind of maintain that. So yeah, I've come to the point where I'm just like thinking about all those things, and I think when we had the discussion about friendships at the beginning, when we talked about, like, you mentioned like classifying friendships and relationships, and I was like, but why? Why would I have to do that? Like it's just why? Like I feel, and I think we had a discussion of like, I feel like you block potential friendships if you already put somebody in a box, right? And not necessarily though, because you can let friendships kind of like evolve and blossom on its own. That's what you said. Like blossom on their own and just kind of naturally be what it's supposed to be or it's meant to be, right? Instead of like trying to do the extra to make it what you thought or what you think it should be. So yeah, like it's just been a lot of thinking around that, and just like that's kind of brought me to this
point. I think it's important because I think as you realize, like as we all get older and as we have more responsibilities, you have less time, right? And with that time, like I find that time is so precious, right? Like when you recognize that you're spending time and energy pouring into a relationship or a friendship that is not going anywhere, and it's not to say going anywhere like it's like a selfish thought, but really just like both of you recognize that we're just stagnant, like it's not happening, or even worse, the person does not see you the same way. Then you have to ask yourself, like, is it worth me investing that much more time in this friendship when the person really doesn't see me as this type of friend, you know?
But I think there's also the understanding that, right? So not necessarily like not every friendship, and this is what I'm learning now. Like I'm actually thinking about things now. Like not every friendship is going to evolve in that way, right? Not every friendship is going to be a tight friend, and that's okay.
That's okay, exactly.
Right? And I think recognizing that that's fine, and that some people are going to be your close friends, and some people are just going to be your close acquaintances. Some people are just going to be people that you interact with on like I don't know, like a monthly basis, like, and that's fine. And I think I didn't think about it in that way before, whereas now I'm like, oh, but that's okay. Like it's okay for me to have friends that are like
superficial
for
lack of a better word. And it's okay because it as long as you know that this is what this friendship is. It is what it is. Like you can't. You're right. You can't. Because imagine how much energy and time and effort it takes into having such deep friendships across the board. It's a lot. You know, like when we left church, there were certain friendships that I had felt like were like tight. You know, and I didn't think that this friendship would not disintegrate, but I didn't think it would change just because while we were at church we had been through so much together, going back and forth and all these kind of things. And then I realized that over time the people stopped checking in on us, you know, and I will check in, how the kids, you know, how you doing, how's ministry, how is this, oh, it's fine. But then there wouldn't be, how are you, how's it going, and all that kind of stuff. And I realized that, you know what, I think this friendship was based off of the fact that it was convenient for us to see each other because we were seeing each other on Sundays. You know, because when you see each other every week,
out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. But also the fact that like now that out of sight, out of mind, if you really value that friendship, you would actually be intentional about either checking in or trying to meet up or a phone call here and there. You know what I mean? But none of that was happening, and I found that I was doing that, and I realized like comfortably, like this is not the friendship that I thought it was. And that's okay. You know, like we've moved forward in life and we're going our separate ways, and that's fine. You know, and every so often when I come to church and I see the people, I have no ill will because I recognize that life we're not in our faces anymore, and life gets busy. It wasn't like a, you know, like a dramatic break where it's like, oh, she's talked bad about me and talked bad about me, and now we're no longer friends. Drama. Like, it was nothing like that. It was just like a natural progression of
This is what it is.
separation.
So do
you know what I mean?
do you often? I guess my challenge with that is it a mutual understanding that this is just a progression of our relationship, or you have some individuals that can think the level of checking up has changed, however we are still friends, and if one party decides this is just not the friendship that I thought it was, and the other party doesn't have that understanding, what do you do then?
So that's a really great question. So like, I think that there are two different scenarios, right? So like, okay, I'm going to go into a long story. Once upon a time, and then there's like time.
There was it.
I'll give you the stories, and I'll afterwards I'll explain why.
Yeah.
So I've already shared this with you, but I'll share it on the podcast. I had a very good friend. Dee and I had a good friend. It was like the three of us. We were closest of friends. Banter. And then all of a sudden, she sends us a WhatsApp message telling us that she's ending our friendship. She thanked us for the journey. She said it was beautiful, but at this point in time, we're, what's the word that I'm looking for? I keep doing this. If people know what this is, I think it's diverging, or not converging, but like we're going our separate ways. And there's nothing that you guys did, but I'm ending the friendship. And we were like, what? Because literally like a month before, we were on a 3-way call for hours talking and encouraging each other, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden she's like, I'm done. We're no longer friends. And then I was like, you need to give me a better reason for that, because we've been friends since uni. And all of a sudden you just want to end our friendship for what? No answer. And then she just exited the group, blocked us on all sorts of social media, blocked our phone, blocked email, everything. And so up until now, like, that was like a hard break, right? Where it's like, it felt like a breakup.
Yeah, I feel like you have to grieve this.
Girl, the way I cried. Hey guys, I thought I was in a romantic relationship, because the way I was like, no, she flat out broke up with me.
Yes.
And Dee and I went through this whole grieving process. Mind you, like, I'm talking about this now. This was years ago, but every so often, like, it comes up, and like I cry, and like I mourn it, and I'm like, how is this happening? So there's that, where she has set clear boundaries, and up until this day, we don't know why she's decided to end the friendship. Like, you know, we speculate and all these kind of things, but we really don't know, because she just said no, it's done, and she hasn't told us, and we can't talk to her, we can't reach out to her. I don't know if she listens to this podcast, but if you do, hey, I hope you're well. I'm going to the part where I can now say I hope you're well, because at one point I was like, F-bombs, you know? So that's on the one hand, right? Where like there is a clear definition of the relationship, a clear break done, right? And then there's another on the other end where it's just like a natural progression, where it's kind of like, because I told you, like in the example, like I would be checking up on the person and everything is fine, but I realized that the person never checked up on me. Never, you know, and I could tell that it's not as if this person is not on their phone, because the person is always on their phone doing whatever. Sometimes I would send messages, sometimes the person wouldn't respond for weeks, and then randomly, oh hey, how's it going, kind of thing. And so for me, I realized that like I'm investing more into this friendship than the person is, and clearly I don't cross this person's mind as much as they cross my mind. So if I were to decide to just pull away, I highly doubt this person would even notice, because the person only responds to me when I send the message, and even then a couple weeks later, you know. And I kept giving excuses to this person. This person's busy. This person has lots of kids. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm also busy. I also have lots of kids, and I'm also working. But here I am thinking about this person. And so, and case in point, I stopped texting, and I haven't heard from this person in months, right? So if we're to meet, like, I don't even feel like it's necessary to have a conversation
Right,
about it with
right,
the person, because what's the point?
But do you also
You
think
know?
that that's also like the lack of definition of the friendship that was? Because if I always use this analogy of like, you may think that you're somebody's number 5, and that person is thinking you're my number 20. Like, you know what I mean? And at no point do you guys have that conversation and say, hey, by the way, you're my number 5, and I'm your number 5 kind of thing, so that at least we're on the same level. Nobody has that conversation.
That's true.
Right? So
That's true.
so that definition, that defining your relationship doesn't happen anywhere. So everything from there is just assumptions, right? I'm assuming because we see each other, because we text, we have mutual like interest in whatever. We're both number 5.
Same level. Yeah, that's true. That's
right.
true.
So and I think and that's one of the things that challenges me challenges me so much when it comes to friendships, because it's like there's no point that anybody has these conversations, right? Like when you are in a married covenant relationship, right? You there's outlined clear lines, right? Like you've gone before God and man. Everybody has witnessed you, like, you know, in most cases, everybody has witnessed you, like, you know, make this covenant with your wife, with your spouse, to, you know, to love this person, and everybody.
Sorry, I just put it in here till death. Do us part. Okay.
Right. So like everybody, like people generally know the covenant and the kind of relationship that you have, right? And both of you understand that. It's a mutual understanding that you both
but we
have,
don't
right?
have that with like
And
other types of
exactly. And then within your marriage, along the way, you're constantly having conversations about how it's going. Reestablishing those things, but in friendship, that doesn't happen.
That's true. That's true.
Right? So like everybody's going off of assumptions. Right? Just clear example is your friend.
Which one? The breakup.
The breakup one.
Okay.
Right? you the breakup one. In the sense, like, there's a level of expectation that you have with this person that you have spent a good amount of time with, like from uni to now. That's a good years, right? That's a lot of years. So there's a level of expectation that you want from this individual, right? But because those expectations also are based on assumptions. If you really think about it, right? But because you've invested so much, when the person decides to break up, now you're found wanting, because he's like, at which point did we not make it clear that we're in this together? And you can tell me that you and D, you know, be like, yo, we're in this together. Like, this is
I feel like that thing it traumatized us, so we're like, you're not going anywhere, my friend. Like, as far as we're concerned, you're my second spouse.
Basically, right?
It's hilarious. But you know what, though, now that I'm thinking about what you're saying, I feel like with my friend that broke up with me, I feel like she understood what those expectations were, and that's why she broke up with me. You know what I mean? Because
or that's why she sent you a message.
Yeah, that's why, and I'm saying broke up. Like, we're not in a romantic relationship, but it was a broken friendship.
It was a friendship breakup.
So yes, friendship breakup. Like, I feel like that's why she did that, because she understood what kind of friendship we had.
Right.
And whatever reasons she had for breaking up, she needed it to be known that this is done, because she didn't want to continue further. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she wanted to make a
clear cut that, like, as deep as we are, it cannot go further
than this,
right? Whereas I find that other relationships, especially exactly like the assumptions that we've created, it's almost like ghosting each other, right? It's like we haven't taken each other seriously enough that I can just ghost you.
Right.
You see what I mean? So no, you're absolutely right. We don't have those conversations, and I don't think that we are taught to have conversations like that with platonic relationships. You know, it's so funny because the other day I was thinking about it, and I was like, I have these friends that I like to say that they're my inner circle, because I'm free to talk to them about my issues.
Right.
And that's how I always define what kind of friendships I have. Whether it's like, okay, if am I able to talk to you about my issues without, number one, hearing it from someone else,
Right.
and then number two, knowing that you won't judge me or whatever
Yes, yeah,
situation
yeah,
I'm in,
yeah.
or with whoever I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then I was like, do they know that this is how I see them? You know what I mean? Like,
Precisely.
because the thing is, I was like, I could be talking to them about my issues, knowing that I've really selected a few people that I'm talking to about my issues,
Right.
but do they know that they are part of those people and that they should respect that, as opposed to thinking, oh, she's talking to me about them, that means she must be talking to everybody about it. You know what I mean?
Like, do they reciprocate?
I don't even, do they? Yeah, to a certain degree.
Okay.
Yeah, to a certain degree. Like, I'm not there being like, because I'm telling you my issues, therefore you must tell me my issues. Like, I trust them. Now, whether they trust me or not, like, it's almost like do I care? Really? When you think about it, do I actually, I do care that if they trust me or not. Yes, but then I'm not expecting them to
To
trust
divulge
Yes,
information or
just
whatever.
because I'm
your
doing
shit.
it. Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Exactly. So it is almost a selfish friendship because I'm doing it for myself.
Yes, just
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah, I'm here because I need your help.
I'm just
Whether you need my help or not,
I don't
it's
care.
fine. I don't care. This is for me. Really, this is so selfish. Oh God. But like, and funny enough, I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I should probably enter into 2024 with like, okay, you people, you guys are my people that I'm gonna come and talk to. But then I was also like, but on the flip side, because I've started to realize that I don't like friendships where if I see there's something like a character flaw in someone,
Okay.
for example, I always find that like it's difficult to talk to people about character flaws.
Okay.
Right? Because it comes off as, oh, you're judging me, or what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But like, as friends,
Mm.
if I see that there's somewhere where you are failing or
Mhm.
not doing what you're supposed to be doing, I feel like I should be able to come and be like, fam, let's talk about this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without it being like, who are
Who
you to
are
come
you?
to?
Yeah.
Like, who are you to come talk to me
Yeah.
about it? Oh, you're judging me, and da, 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 da. Like, no, I don't think
Iron
that's
sharp as iron, right?
Exactly,
Like, if you're
exactly.
close enough to me to be like to
Mhm.
see a character flaw that maybe I'm not even seeing, right? Like
Uh-huh.
to be able to point it out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like our brother, i.e. your husband, he's not your brother. When he saw me drinking the sugar, and he told me, "Hey, sugar," the way I appreciate it,
Yeah.
because for me it's like you're looking out for
Yeah.
me genuinely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sugar isn't, some sugar is fine, but not so much sugar. I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want that for my friends. I want my friends to be able to do that for me because we're blinded to certain things in our character, but you can see it. But then I was like, but if I do that, does that now mean our friendship is over? Because some people will be like, oh, she was judging me, and I'm not gonna talk to her anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a side note. But like, in that, like, I find that also helps to define your friendships as well, because there are only so many people that you should be allowing to talk to you anyhow. You know what I mean? Not talk to you anyhow, but especially when someone's coming to tell you, oh, the way you're talking, da 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 da. It's like, have I given you that permission to come and talk to me like
Who you?
about that? Who you?
Who you?
You know, exactly, right? So I feel like that's a way also to kind of like define your friendships, where it's like you know what? Please help me be a better person.
Yeah.
You know, help me grow, help me be a better person, help me blah blah blah. Because then at least you know, okay, our friendship is on another level where I'm helping her grow, be a better person, as opposed to, hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Oh, did you watch that show?
Yeah.
And there's no substance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely learning new things about like myself and like just the whole thing of like friendships and just relationships in general. I'm still learning a lot, and like trying to put like definitions on certain things. Maybe because it's just. Yeah, it's just been. It's not something that I've readily like thought of. Lately, I realized that, like I used to do. I still do very well with like checking up on people, and trying to check up on people, and like you know, as soon as you come to my mind, I don't want it to like, you know,
Yeah.
fizzle away, and then
Yeah.
I'll just be like, okay, let me just check up
Because
on.
you never know,
'Cause you never
right?
know what
Yeah,
people are
I
going
appreciate
through.
that about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, let me, but I've realized, like, when somebody does check up on me, and I think before that, like, when I would check up on me, I would have no expectation that you should check up on me as well,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of leave it at that. But I've realized over, like, time now that when somebody does check up on me, I do feel it.
Yeah.
I feel appreciated. I feel like, oh, you actually have thought about me. Because I know the kind of mental thing that I go through when I want to check up on somebody. Like, you know what, I haven't heard from this person in a while. Let me check up on them just to see how they're doing. And like, just the thought that you took the time out of your time to check up on me, I'm like,
It means a lot.
like, it means a lot, right? Like, and I feel like before that, maybe I had like numbed myself to that, to feeling any kind of way, because I didn't want any expectation of reciprocated, and then they'd be like, well, they didn't check up on me, so like, hence, you know, our mothers, our parents' generation, they didn't check, they didn't even call me. Like, but did you call me? Right?
If you're so passionate.
Clearly, I'm food good.
If you are so passionate about the fact that they check up on you, why didn't you text me? Huh? Instead of yelling at me.
Instead of yelling. So like it's been a lot like like thinking about it, and I think it just also kind of coming to the point where the understanding of some relationships will just like change, and just accepting that it does, right? Because sometimes I feel like we want to hold on so tight to things that are inevitably changing.
Yeah.
Mainly, it could be that changes have happened in the person's life, and changes are happening in your life, and we're holding so tight onto what was, what could have been, what should be, or whatever, that we're not realizing that the change has already happened, and we just need to find a way to let go of that. Some take longer, like, you know, your relationship with your friend there. Some take longer, and some you have to really grieve, and I don't know if you're human, if you're able to disconnect so like sharply, because I'm sure I can assume that even for your friend who did a clear cut, that what she also has some level of grief that she has to go through. Does she really? I think so. Because if she did, why would she do that? So, and I think maybe she probably has come. She probably has just come to the thing to like, I'm gonna grieve by myself, and I'm not going to grieve with you. That this has dissolved, and I know it's hard.
That has dissolved. No, that's not it. No.
Okay, I want to hope so.
For me, my thing is, okay, it's like it's a break. Okay, you know what? Fair, you're right. Because even in romantic relationships, when there's a breakup, even if there's a person that initiated, they still experience some form of grief.
Absolutely, breakups suck.
They suck. Yeah, they do. They breakups suck. So fair. Sure, whatever she's experiencing. But like, I think even now, like in at our ripe age, of our 30s. Hey, listen, it's joy. It's all joy.
It's all joy.
At this point, I think that it's important to even be intentional about the friendships that we have, right? And I think that was also my 2023 was that there are certain friendships where I recognize. So the example I gave where the thing fizzled.
Yeah.
I myself also made the decision that I'm not going to invest more time into this friendship, regardless of if I was her one or she was my five or whatever. I decided that I can't invest more in this friendship because it's taking my time and my emotional energy from other friendships that I could invest more in. Because I realized I'm like, when I'm texting and then 2 weeks later the person hasn't responded, I'm feeling a particular way, I'm feeling all sorts of things, and I take things very like deeply, you know?
Yeah, me too.
Where it's like I start to think like, why is this person not?
Yeah.
This is something I did. What did I do? Like exactly, like all these things, and then because it happened after we left church, also all the thoughts about, oh, it's because we left and all the trauma and you know what I mean? And I was like, I can't do that. I can't. That's too much energy to invest into something that clearly the person. And it's not to say there's some friendships that I have where I don't talk to them every day.
Yeah.
Maybe once a month.
When you do.
When I do, like I have this friend from uni. She lives in Gatineau, I live here. Everything is very far. But then whenever we connect randomly, it's deep.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we don't waste time about pleasantries. It's literally like, okay, how are you doing? How are you really doing? How can I help you? What's going on? This. Okay, resources back and forth. Thank you. I love you. Until next time. You know what I mean? And so, but we both recognize, not necessarily that we've spoken it. It's just that that's just been our friendship. You know. Whereas like with this one, I was just like, there's just something that's just missing, and I'm not able to pour into it. And so, and case in point, when I stopped messaging, the person stopped like they haven't even reached out to me to say hi. No. So for me, when like I don't need to be I don't need to be a fifth grader in order to understand that. Like I just recognize that this is not that kind of friendship. You know. But with the friendships that I do have, like I had another situation where something similar was happening. And I talked to you about it, and I was like, "This is really, it was really draining me, you know." And I was like, I'm gonna have a conversation with this person because I recognize that, like, I want to keep this friendship. Like, I want this friendship to be a sisterhood or whatever. Not even sisterhood because that's like what, groups or tribe? No, not that. Like, I want this person to be my sister. And so I had a conversation with her, and I was like, okay. I am going through a period where I need to just establish my friends and keep it as that. What's going on? You know, like let's have a brutally honest conversation about what's going on and understand where we're at. You know, because if you're going to tell me that, you know, I just have so much going on, it's not really happening, I'll be fine with that because I'll recognize, yes, I'll grieve, sure, but at least I know that, okay, no point in putting energy and effort and prayer into this friendship. Let's keep it simple. You know, and I think, like when you and I talked about friendships, I feel like we talked about having to go through that process with some of the friendships that we have, right? Because you don't need that many friends, we really don't. But then the friends that we do have, and I remember one thing Jackie Hill Perry said that it's like it struck me to my core because she was like, at the end, like we were old, you know, and a spouse may have passed. You still need friends. You still need people, you know, so if you don't, and then you can't, like, I just always imagine myself being in a retirement home and playing bridge with, like, I actually wanted to learn how to play bridge this year, just in case, you know, I didn't have time, but I was like, I should probably learn how to play bridge. Apparently it's a really good game, but, like, I just imagine myself in a retirement home with my friends. Hey, we wake up in the morning, we go to Walmart, but like I feel like it'd be fun, but it wouldn't be fun if I was doing it by myself. You don't have friends, you know what I mean? So, or like traveling with a group of friends throughout the course of your life, or like, you know, but you have to be intentional about making sure that those friends carry on through your life.
And there has to be a lot of intentionality that goes through it, right? Because otherwise. And I think that's why I've been thinking about it so much that like you don't want to have all these like fickle relationships like kind of like, you know, spread out in your life, but none of them have really like any substance to it, right? And you don't necessarily want that. Like there are times that you might want maybe going back to the first point, the other point that you made, like there are times that you want to extend grace to other people and you know, make the excuses and say, oh, they have all these things going on. Oh, maybe that's what it is. But I think it comes to a point where you're like, am I just like making excuses for these people, or is there something really else going on? And there are situations like you know your example where like you want to reach out, make sure that everything's okay, so that we're all on the same page, as opposed to me assuming that or assuming for you, or making excuses for you, but that's like completely far from what you're going through. And then there's ones that it just kind of like, you know, fizzles and
or the dynamic of it changes, right?
Changes.
Like I have a friend like that as well, like where we haven't talked, I guess, for months. And yesterday we like sat on the phone for like an hour and a half, just like catching up, just like where's your life at?
Yeah.
And just like all the things that we haven't been able to talk about, let's just bring it in.
That's
what
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
2022. February, March, April. Oh, okay. Summer. That was fun.
Understanding, like right from the gate of like our friendship, I knew like she wasn't great with like her phone and all of that. So like I called her in October, and she saw it yesterday. Girl, I am sorry. But like I have that understanding,
like
right?
you get it, yeah.
So like I don't have a feelings type of way that she didn't like call me or anything. But yeah, so that's just some of the thinkings I have around like, you know, friendship and stuff. Like I know there's nuances to like to some of these conversations. And like if you guys have any, you know, any thoughts or anything like that, like with terms of like what you've experienced, what you're experiencing, you know, now. Please put them in like the chat. Please reach out because we also want to know this because we know there's different pieces when it comes to friendships and it comes to like conversations like this. So please, like, you know, maybe something that we haven't thought about or an aspect that we haven't considered. Yeah, let us know and let us know. That's all. So yeah. Until next time. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, all the things.
We love you guys so much.
Yes, we love you so much. Thank you so much for being around. And like we said, just for sticking around and all your encouragement and just listening to us banter. You know, think through our thoughts, you know, and going beyond the thoughts. So yeah. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.